Well, good evening and welcome again to the 2012fad.com. I will be your host for this evening, and my name is Charlie Bluehawk. Last night we talked about vivisection and how, for doctors in the USA, vivisection is part of the training to be a doctor, and how vivisection is a constant and revered practice in Western American medicine. For those of you who do not know what vivisection means, it's where you strap a living animal down to a table. Today it's usually a monkey imported from Cambodia or Indonesia, basically looking like a small human baby. Where in the United States, actually, for the last 100 years, it was dogs, usually house pets who had gotten lost and were sold by the local pound for medical experimentation. Vivisection is where a doctor in training, or a doctor, starts cutting open the animal, even though the animal is still alive, is still awake, is still conscious, and has no painkillers at all. The animal gets to watch as the doctor cuts open its flesh and starts to remove the animal's organs one at a time. This is what it means to be a doctor in the United States of America. So tonight I thought this would be a good time to chat about a test of character. After vivisection, it seems like a good topic for us. I've been doing this for 40 years, and I used to tell people that the universe was testing us. And the universe never judges us by what's done to us. Rather, the universe judges us by how we react to what's done to us. A good example. You and your child are in a car. Your car is hit by a drunk driver, and your child is killed. The universe does not judge you by what was done to you. The universe judges you by how you react to what you do in response. So after you recover, what do you do with your life? Do you go after drunk drivers, shoot them in the head, and leave them at the side of the road as a warning to others? Well, personally, I like that one. But we're still pretending that we have morals and ethics, so let's move on. Okay, maybe you start a local organization that prosecutes and jails drunk drivers. In the USA, that rarely works because most drunk drivers are judges, attorneys, and police officers. Or maybe you give up, you're defeated, and you just crawl into a little ball and die, and you became what you hate most in the world. You become a drunk. I've actually seen variations of that one. I discovered a long time ago that when you hate someone, that gives them power over you. That's why our masters are so successful. I remember back when I was living in Studio City, California, a suburb of Los Angeles, and this fellow, the captain, he's one of the local characters and a professional bodybuilder, he gave me a massage with magnets. And at that point in time, I really began the decades-long process of healing. And I began to notice how terrible, frankly, people were treating me. I specifically remember the owners of the local mailbox, etc., an old Jewish couple who were just vile. They abused all of us, but they would buy us lunch, which was, our payment for taking their abuse. I remember I was so angry one day at the old man that in backing my car, very old car, old clunker, out of the parking lot in the underground parking garage, I forgot what I was doing. I just cranked the wheel over as hard as I could and backed out, smacked right into a concrete post, and I knocked the front end of my old car in. And you know what? I just sat there, and I thought about what had just happened. That ugly, nasty old man, he didn't have to hurt me anymore. Why? Because he had planted the seed inside of me, a seed that was hatred. And it grew because I allowed it to grow. So now he could go home and relax, have a beer, knowing that I would now just hurt myself for him. His work was done. And then I realized that I had encountered that sort of thing many, many times before. Evil, rotten, truly foul people would get me so mad at them I'd end up hurting myself because of them, and they were already gone. Again, our masters are very successful this way. They hurt us once, they walk away, they hurt somebody else, but we continue to hurt ourselves because they've planted the seed in front of us, inside of us. So, rule number 1, never hate anybody. Because when you hate someone, it really does give them power over you. So when you and I talk about our masters, I don't hate them. I understand them. I try. I know what they do. I know why they do it, I think. And then, that's when you think for yourself. Prepare yourself on your own terms, because it really is a test of character. Do we become the thing we hate? Or do we become better at being ourselves? Do we become better at being who we really are? A friend of mine, actually, he was one of the Mandarin class, one of the servants of the masters. He actually liked me, and he actually tried very hard to help me with my various business projects. He even owned a nightclub at the time down on the Santa Monica Pier. And Madonna, a true servant of the masters, was performing there at his club. He called me to invite me down to his club, and he would introduce me to Madonna. Well, sadly, I didn't even have money for gas, so I couldn't go. And really didn't want to, frankly. But he was always very kind to me, very good to me, kind of like the father I never had. And he was always telling me how much he hated his own father. Now, this gentleman was like 70 years old at the time, and he still hated his father. That's all he ever talked about. His hatred of his father consumed him. He spent all of his free time at the age of 70 hating his father because of the way his father had always mistreated his mother. Well, one day I'm at his home, and so was his girlfriend, and so was his girlfriend's best friend. And as I watched this man, who was a good and dear friend to me, we watched him as he became his own father. We watched him as he abused his girlfriend, a very lovely, very kind lady, just like his father used to abuse his mother. Again, hatred consumes us if we let it. And we actually do become the thing that we hate. I could go on, but, I've been warned that too many people are now tuning into my rantings and ravings, and they would not appreciate me mentioning them here, even without names. So the question really is, who are you going to be? Are you going to be the best possible you can be? Or will you let hate consume you? That's actually a tough one, and for a very good reason. Evil always wins. And wouldn't it be nice to win for a change? I mean, I had a waking dream last night, I think it was, that I had become a vampire, I guess. I could fly, I could walk through walls, I could do all kinds of cool stuff. I could read people's minds. Frankly, I was tired, I was irritated, and I actually was dreaming to myself what fun it would be to get even with those who hurt me. And it hurt me for no good reason, which just is worse. But it was a lot of fun, pretending that I was an unstoppable vampire, reading people's thoughts, having control over their lives, and if they disobeyed me, I would just toss them out the window of the penthouse I'd stolen from them, So, yes, being evil sounds like a lot of fun to me. But then today, I'm just me again. No superpowers, no flying by the power of my mind, no reading people's thoughts. But you know what? Evil does sound like a lot more fun to me. It really does. So any of you vampires out there want to turn me, send me an email. We'll make arrangements. Oh, sorry, that's right. I'm supposed to be serious. No humor. So until someone turns me into a vampire, I guess it's just you and me. And I guess we'll just have to keep trying to figure this all out together. For all of us here at the2012fad.com, this is Charlie Bluehawk. Wishing you a really good day and reminding you, please, keep that one good thought. The 2012 Fad is brought to you by Coffee and Blood, Love Letters Between the Dead, a series of 5 erotica horror novels about a fallen angel fighting his way back to regain his own soul, and how the CIA war against the human race, their black magic, captures and traps him in the body of a mind-controlled slave designed to hunt down and to kill their god, their Satan.